Get ready for the Squawking Eagles podcast.
Hey, Birds fans, and welcome to the Squawking Eagles podcast. I'm your host, Mike, and I'm joined by two of the greatest Eagles fans this podcast has ever seen. Miguel and Mark, how's it going, guys? It's divisional round time.
The playoffs are here, and the Eagles fans want the smoke. Let's go.
You know, I don't know, now that we know who we're going to be playing, we're going to talk about some of the remarks that some Giants fans are putting out there. And I think we can review some stuff that happened over this weekend. Pretty good weekend, I'd say, for football.
I just want to make the comment that we could have an NFC East playoffs.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just us and Giants, and if for some reason San Fran forgets how to play football, it could be us and the Cowboys. And so the NFC East just dominates all the way. Although, I mean, I'm kind of upset that the Cowboys won a playoff game. I'm like, man, and that hasn't happened since I was like 3.
But either way, the Super Bowl comes through the NFC East, so let's go.
Yeah, it's the fact that there's 3 teams left in the playoffs: Giants, Eagles, Cowboys. From a division that had supposedly was easy.
We're the worst division.
Worst division
we have
ever.
Easier schedule. None of us belong here.
Right, but we're the 3 that are left. Yeah,
3
so
or 4.
let's not. It doesn't really matter what we have to say about that, right? Doesn't matter. So here we are. If you want to follow us on Instagram, we just hit 600 followers. It's at Squawking 600. And then also, if you want to find us on YouTube, it's at Squawking Eagles Podcast on YouTube, where we're growing substantially there too.
Don't forget the TikTok.
And the TikToks. And the TikToks.
Hey, 6 followers on TikTok.
IT is currently having difficulties. It's up and running. Nothing's been posted in a couple days.
I gotta remember to send you some stuff there. I gotta send you some stuff. So yeah, here we go. We don't need to review last week's game with the Giants because we're reviewing this week's game with the Giants.
You mean last week's practice? You mean last week's practice? That was a practice.
Practice.
That was a live.
It better have been practice.
Yeah, it better have been. So
that was rough.
I was talking today earlier with a Giants fan who has yet to want to come on this podcast. And he was telling me that he's super excited for this game. He's hyped up. He's psyched. He's, we were talking about how, if the Eagles and Giants play 10 games, how many games would the Eagles win? And I said 7. He said 9. He said 9. The Eagles would win 9 games. So there's a 10% chance that this is this the 10th game? I hope not. So we'll review this game, and then we'll talk a little bit about what the Cowboys and 49ers are going to do. But what do you think of this past weekend with the Chargers and Jags? I want to go to our honorary Jags fan in the house here.
Let's go, Dougie F&P. Let's go. Man, what a comeback that he pulled out of the hat, brother. Like, I look, I had a little bit of faith in Dougie P. Put a little scrap on him when he was down 27.
Yeah.
Dougie made me
a believer.
I know what I said.
The tapes.
Yeah, I know what I said in the chat. I forgot a decimal point. You know what I mean?
Man,
but I incorrect. It was $75 instead of
$75. Man, when you put that in there, I couldn't believe it. I told my wife, she's like, "How come you can't win money like that?" I was like, "What are you talking about? That's the luckiest bet you could have possibly made." But yet, I was watching the game with my daughter because my daughter was a Chargers fan this year, and so we went to bed. It was 27-7. I was like, "The Chargers got this game. We can go to bed now." And so I started watching the game, and they keep coming back, and she fell asleep, and they won 31-30. I woke up the next morning. I told her, and she didn't believe me. She had to look it up herself. She didn't believe me.
Yeah.
What a game!
There's a viral video out there that there was a fan that fell asleep during the game, and they wake him up to show him the end of the game, and he's just in disbelief. He's like,
"Oh man,
wow,
how is that happening?"
Trevor Lawrence's ass choke. Jags are done.
Oh, you're reading the transcripts from the text mess chain here.
Yeah. And all of a sudden, I'm back with the bandwagon. Look. I don't want to take it away from Doug EP, but Doug EP, I'm sorry, bud. Some of y'all have already heard my feelings about this. I don't give Doug EP the credit for the Super Bowl that a lot of people do.
Here we go.
I don't.
We all know you don't. If you haven't listened to the podcast,
I'm sorry. What is the play that stands out to you of our Super Bowl win? There's only one.
And the one that's got a lot of views on our Instagram, the Philly special.
It's only one play. It's the play. And who makes that call?
Nicky Foles. Nicky Foles did.
I really thought he was gonna go left and say it was Chip Kelly. I really thought he
Chip Kelly phoned in and made the call.
Credit. I was gonna say,
okay, hold your damn horses. That's a bit of a stretch. I might like my college football, but I ain't psycho.
Hey, I have to question where you're going sometimes. You know what I mean?
No.
Oregon Duck loyalty is stronger than that Eagles fan loyalty, my friend.
Whoa. Fly Ducks fly.
Gross. Look, I said it before. I'm a big fan of Justin Herbert from out of the Ducks, but if the Chargers hadn't hit and they're facing the Eagles all day, Herbert, I'm sorry, sit the fuck down. Anyway, sorry,
boom. Boom.
Look,
Boom.
You can ask Miguel. You didn't know me at the time, but I've known Mike a while. You can ask Mike. I was not a fan of Nick Foles. Out of the draft, I did not like Nick Foles. When he was brought back to the team, I was like, why? This guy doesn't know how to play. Now, I'll give credit that Frank Reich and Doug EP sat together and said, hey, he's not Carson Wentz. And they created a different style playbook, and we ended up winning the whole goddamn thing. Yeah. But on that day, on that big play, Reich wasn't going to call it. Doug EP wasn't going to call it. Nick Foles came out and said, yeah,
I got this.
I mean, hey, Philly. He's like, I mean, why not?
Yeah, why not, right?
Dubs. So, my main point is that the very next year, it wasn't great. And, like, I get teams have a hangover, but, like, to me, the good coaches can navigate away from that, and Doug EP couldn't. So I don't give him the credit that everyone else does. So I'm not like a Doug EP bandwagon fan. Now, congrats, Doug. You did well with a shit team. I think Trevor Lawrence is overrated. 4 picks, my guy. Really, if it weren't for the refs, you're not winning that game.
He had 4 completions and 4 interceptions.
That false start at the end for the touchdown is so blatant. And this isn't just that game. I'm going across all the games. I understand in the playoffs, they change the way that they accept penalties and the way they call things. I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that they're doing that.
I maybe I'm insane, and that's okay. But I have an easy solution. Okay? There needs to be like a 2-week designated refereeing seminar the NFL has to put on with like instruction, with video evidence of like, hey, this is what we want to call, this is what we don't want to call, and stick with that as like, this is our baseline for everything. And then after each game, there needs to be a review of how the penalties were and weren't called. And for blatant things that are either not called, dropped, ignored, whatever, there needs to be punishment for the plays that are either overcalled or not called. Like calling holding on like a pancake. Bro, come on. That wasn't a hold. You did that wrong. Minor fine, whatever. But especially when it comes to playoff games, if your calls are changing the turnout of the game, you can't just get a slap on the wrist. I'm sorry. In my opinion, you're banned for at least 1, if not 2 years of playoff refereeing.
Right.
And you're fined, and you have to, like, I don't know, go through an extra training seminar. There's got to be something to hold you accountable and rewards at the same time. If they go through the tapes, go, hey, you did great. Here's a fucking bonus. Like, here's some money for you because you did a great job, and you earn an extra playoff game this season, kind of thing.
Well, Miguel has something. What are you going to say?
No, I was just gonna ask. Didn't they do something for the playoffs? For like the referees now, they like it's called the Get It Right Challenge or something like that. Like
they're checking the plays right, like in real time before like they kind of like get the snap calls. So they're checking every play, every single. It's weird. It's they stopped the game because I think they called a penalty or of something during after the play was done. They threw a flag after they saw something. I'm not a big fan of that.
I saw that as well. Yeah,
it's weird. It's weird.
Like, it was a year ago, 2 years ago, they allowed the coaches to challenge things like PI.
Yeah.
And by the end of the season, they're like, no, because the refs are getting it so badly wrong
Yeah.
They're like, we can't allow this. It's showing us as being terrible at our jobs.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
I think you should challenge every goddamn play.
Well, look, in baseball, in this coming year in baseball in the AAA, they're going to have robo umps. They're going to check it out and see what happens.
I've heard that was a thing.
That's going to be a thing this year in AAA. So, what are they going to do with the NFL? They're going to have to do something. Is it have robot umps on one side and then have regular umps on the other side? Like, I don't know. They're going to have to do something. They're going to have to mix the two together. And I think it's going to be beneficial for the NFL to make sure there's more eyes on the field and what's going on.
I'm okay with that. You get a couple but they also have to respect the officials. I forget what game it was. There was an official that came down the line, and I think he called the guy down, and it would cost the game too.
Yeah.
Guy was short of the first down. Came down, marked the spot. It might have even been the Giants game, if I remember. And then another official came in and just first down. And you watch the replay, the ball doesn't cross the line. It's not even like within a foot. But because the head ref said not first down, it's a first down. The game's over. It took knees.
Yeah. It is suspect. It is.
I think your line judge who has eyes on the ball makes the call. You don't come on and override that because you're over there in the corner.
Yeah,
come on,
they got to change that. So talk about referees for the game. The referee who's reffing the Eagles game. The Eagles are 13-1 when he referees.
I would like to make a comment on referees. I apologize. I don't remember her name, but one of the female referees, what game? I can't even remember the game now. I'll have to look back on it. The referees were letting the game go, and she literally run over to trying to stop it because they were. I mean, no one blew the whistle. She drew the flag for it was a delay of game.
Yeah. I find it that the female referees are way better than
she did phenomenal. She went over there to correct him 3-4 times. The guy went to mark false start. She's like, no, delay of game. It's been a delay of game. And he's like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
it's
they're out of it. They're very much out of it.
So I just want to give props out to her and the others. It's just someone I saw do it at the right time, the right way.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So then we talk about the Bills and the Dolphins, which turned out to be a much closer game than it should have been.
It's a Dolphins win.
It should have been.
No, it is. Because Skylar Thompson doesn't belong in the NFL right now.
No.
So the fact that it was even close, which, by the way, I'm going to go back on and say I'm on my high horse right now.
You're a big Josh Allen fan, right? Aren't you a big Josh Allen fan?
Overrated. Josh Allen folds under pressure. Look, he might be good all season. The man had 2 picks in seconds that night. The man doesn't throw picks all season. Just absolutely falls apart. Fumbles, interceptions. Bro, now don't get me wrong. I personally am shocked by Miami's defense being poor this year because they have some of the best corners and safeties in the league, and yet their passing defense has been atrocious.
Right.
But, man, did he make them look good.
He did.
Shocking.
So, yeah, the Dolphins, I would have loved to see the Dolphins pull that off. That would have been pretty cool. And then we got who played. So the Kansas City is going to be playing Jacksonville, right? That's going to be a Dougie P. Andy Reid. That's going to be a fun game to watch. That's going to be a fun game to watch.
That's going to be a blowout.
Yeah, and then you think so?
Oh, I don't think the Jaguars are anything ready for what they'll do. Because unlike the Chargers, unlike the Chargers, Andy Reid isn't going to throw away a 27-point lead.
No.
Okay. The Chargers should have been up 28 points in the first quarter if they weren't stupid.
Yeah.
It should have been a blowout game from the start, but Staley's just a moron. And granted, I understand that Herbert only had half a receiver to throw to because the amount of passes that hit people in the hands and then just hit the dirt. I understand now when I see Tom Brady throw a fit, and then I look back and I see Herbert throws it and it hits the guy in the hands. He kind of just looks disappointed. I'm like, that's the progression of shitty receivers.
Yeah.
Because your years of doing that, by the end, you got to be pissed off.
Yeah. Yeah. Tom Brady last night, watching that game, he was throwing balls. I've never seen him play like that before, honestly.
Yeah.
He's old.
He's not that old, Mark.
No, but I'm not saying this. Did you see what happened to Big Ben? Big Ben had an arm his entire career. Then his final year, it was bro, is he throwing left-handed?
Yeah,
The
he's
passes
done.
were erratic. They're not accurate. They're not as deep. The same
Yeah.
thing's happening to Brady. Then they've talked about it that as a quarterback, you hit a cliff.
Yeah,
It's not a gentle come down.
But
No.
and it's the thing with Tampa, it's not just Brady. That whole team has just gotten old altogether. Like
quick.
at one time,
If I was
Julio
Evans, I'd
Jones does
retire.
not look like Julio Jones.
No,
None of
Hey,
them-
honestly, their coach Todd Bowles, like, did he really look like he knew what he was doing? Like, I felt like he looked clueless out there. And then when he mentioned that he was the Jets coach, I'm like, oh yeah, he couldn't do anything with the Jets. He's going to do the same thing here.
But who's the OC? Because they fired Leftwich this morning, and Tom Brady was crazy about Leftwich.
Byron Leftwich got fired this morning.
Yeah,
I
he got
missed that.
Yep.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
that's shocking because I thought he was going to be replacing Bowles.
Yeah, I thought so too. I mean,
That's
Tom
a shock.
Tom talked highly of him before the
Yeah.
season started.
Are you sure he was let go?
That's what I saw this morning. Unless Instagram lied to me.
It never lies. The internet doesn't lie.
Never.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised to see him get a job in one of these vacant coaching positions. To be honest.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for sure he will. There's a lot of
you can't do worse than Nathaniel Hackett. So.
I was about to say he's black, so he might not get a. I mean, not to.
It's
Not
a
to throw
shame.
that out there.
No,
The Steelers would beg to differ with you. You know that, right?
NFL hasn't changed anything yet.
No. And I think look at all the talk about Brock Purdy, who's he's like the new Tom Brady coming up.
No, he's
like,
the new Cooper Rush.
Is that what it is?
Keep an eye on it. I'm calling it now. He's the next Cooper Rush. How many games has he won?
5, 6.
Is he at 5?
Undefeated.
Yeah, I know they've won 10 games in a row, or 11
How many
games in a
games
row.
has he won?
Close to like
Yeah.
5 or 6.
5 or 6. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Hold on.
So he is the greatest quarterback to ever play this game, Brock
But
Purdy.
boy, how would you like to be the San Francisco 49ers front office this summer? What
are they going to do? What are they going to do with Trey Lance? What are they, they're not going to sign Jimmy G.
No.
No,
What are they-
Jimmy's
what are-
gone.
What are they going to do?
I mean, they're gonna either trade. They're gonna either. Honestly, what they should do, in my personal opinion, is let him duel it out. I don't like Brock Purdy. I'm saying that he's Cooper Rush. He's surrounded by talent at a good
for
time.
sure.
He's
For
looking
sure.
good. Wait until he faces a defense that's actually going to challenge him.
Do you think
Wait
the
till
Cowboys are going to
CJ
challenge him?
No, the Cowboys don't challenge shit. Bro, they come on. Did you see the beginning of the game last night? That's Tampa. Tampa, who doesn't have any business being in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Come on, man. You don't go like 3 straight 3-and-outs and then challenge the Niners. Bro, come on. Like, come on. That defense is garbage, and you suffered against them.
I can't wait to watch the Cowboys and 49ers.
And what was up with that Prescott's little horse kick before he hiked the ball? Did anybody peep that? Like,
I mean, have you ever seen his little
Super
like,
high
hip thrust,
knee.
dude?
He loves those hip thrusts. That's what he loves the most. He loves those little hip thrusts going out.
right. All right. Let's start talking about the
All right.
competition.
Here we go. Let's
Saturday,
get Saturday night, 8:15. We are going to be watching this Giants-Eagles divisional playoff game. The Eagles have already played them twice, and the first time was a complete blowout.
Just 7, by the way, for Purdy.
7 games in a row. Okay, so there you go. I was like we were saying. I was talking about the Giants are definitely playing with house money. They don't belong in the playoffs. They don't. They did not. They didn't really need to be. Who would you have guessed that they were going to beat the Vikings? Well,
yes, I did. It's Kirk Cousins in primetime. I told everyone I know the Giants were going to win that game, hands down.
I called it. Yeah,
There's no question in my mind the Vikings were going to choke that.
Yeah.
For it's like time. Go ahead,
The
Mark.
crazy
Go ahead,
part,
Miguel.
it wasn't Kirk Cousins.
It wasn't. Yeah.
Right, but still.
It really wasn't Kirk Cousins.
I'm going to blame him nonetheless.
Yeah, he gets the blame.
Sorry, Kirk. Where's your chain, Kirk?
So now that the Eagles, we find out the Eagles are playing Saturday night. The Giants, they're playing with house money. They don't need to. They're here to send the Eagles home, to ruin the Eagles' season. And there's Kirk Cousins.
Where's the chain, Kirk?
So do the Eagles win this game? I think so. Whenever it's a divisional game, it's different anyway. So
1 to 10. What's your fear factor on it, Mike?
My fear
1 to
factor?
10. How worried are you about this game?
I'm slightly worried because the Giants are coming off this game against the Vikings and they want to prove a point and they have nothing to lose. Like they're not supposed to be there. They have nothing to lose. They would love to be able to just send the Eagles home and send them packing out of the playoffs and to move on and get who knows what they do next week. If they win, they're definitely not going to beat the 49ers or Cowboys, but they would love to be able to end the Eagles season.
I mean, they kind of remind me of the Giants for Super Bowl win. Like they were not expected to be there. They got by Green Bay and San Fran, and then they beat the undefeated Patriots. Go figure.
Yeah. And that was 2011.
I don't know. Well, Mark, what's your fear factor on it right now? Where's your worry? There you go.
Yeah.
I'm worried about how expensive that Super Bowl ticket's going to be. I'm not worried. I'm not worried about the Giants. Look, no disrespect, and I normally hate to be that guy.
Got you.
But I like Saquon. I really like Dable. I think he's a great coach. I think he's going to help that team kind of turn some shit around. I like Thibodeau. I think he's a good defensive player, minus his little antics.
Yeah, we talked about that last.
I think he's a good player.
Yeah.
Who else do they have defensively that's really worth noting?
I mean, Landon Collins is not.
Is Landon Collins enough? Okay. Offensively, outside of Saquon and White Vic.
Vanilla Vic.
Vanilla Vic. Sorry, Vanilla Vic. Who's he throwing to? Sterling Shepard?
No.
Galloway, man. Galloway.
Can he really?
Darius Slayton? I mean,
Darius Slayton? Yeah.
That last game, but
I'm waiting to hear someone that's going to stop CJGJ.
Like,
who's going to stop? Who's going to beat Slay? Who's going to beat
There's
Bradbury?
not one person that you should fear, though. Like, them as a collective unit is what we should fear.
You're right. And they're hot. I'll give you that. They're hot. But I'll tell you what, when I see, I'm hoping the team works for this collectively because I get antsy about it at the same time. I see there's a chip on the shoulder of Jalen Hurts right now. He's a little pissed off.
And also, it's a healthy shoulder, not on the injured list this week.
Yeah,
healthy shoulder.
He came off. You understand though, like we went from an undefeated season to 1 loss, to 2 losses, to 3 losses that we shouldn't have had. He's pissed.
Yeah.
I know when we first had that loss, it was like, oh, it takes the pressure off. I don't think he felt that way. I think he's pissed off. Now there's 2 more losses, and he couldn't do. I don't know. Did you guys see his face on the sideline against the Saints?
Yeah.
Did you see his face after the last Giants game? He wasn't happy about that game.
No.
That man's got a vendetta, and the Giants are target number 1.
Yeah.
I don't think that their collective hotness amounts to the precision that Hurts is about to bring down. I think Hurts would actually like to dominate. I don't think this is a game that he wants to win. I think he wants us to slaughter them.
Right,
I think he wants to make a statement.
Okay, so the Eagles, they come out and they dominate and they just destroy the Giants. Does that get rid of the whole, like, they're overrated conversation? No, it doesn't,
because
right?
San Fran's still San Fran.
Yeah, so they need to prove a point.
When San Fran comes here and we smack San Fran and show everyone that Brock Purdy's just Cooper Rush 2.0.
Right. Yeah. Does that end it?
You faced a backup quarterback. Yeah. No, it doesn't end it.
No, we
gotta beat Mahomes or Allen, but probably Mahomes, maybe Burrow. I doubt it, but maybe. And we got to win the whole thing. And even if we win it, I guarantee people will still say, easy.
Exactly, they will. It's a down year. It's a down year.
I mean, no matter
those rings get heavy.
No matter who comes out the AFC, we're still going to be the underdog anyway. Like, we're not supposed to be here. We got an easy schedule.
I don't know, man. If somehow your Jags make it the whole way, I don't know if we're the underdog. I don't think about it. I don't know. I just don't see it.
Imagine that setup.
That would be pretty sweet.
It would not.
Tell me the NFL doesn't spot out
Stack.
game.
Oh,
Stack
yeah.
game.
You're telling, yeah. It's if I that's I think it's like a zero, maybe 0.1% chance that happens. They're gonna really not. They're
Next
gonna.
week,
It could happen. So
It could
you're
ha-
telling
it-
me there's a chance.
I'm telling you, there's a chance.
The next week, the Jaguars will sign a new player. He comes from Canada. His name is Warson Pence. And they have a new analyst, Ranky Frake. And yeah, we'll see how they do that.
And thick Knowles. They gotta get thick Knowles out
thick
there.
Knowles. Big thick Knowles.
Big thick Knowles.
I like that one.
Yeah. So if 10 games, what do you give the Eagles? If the Eagles and Giants play 10 games, how many games do the Eagles win? Mark, what do you think?
This team versus like right now Giants or right now Eagles?
Yeah, right now.
10.
10.
We win all 10.
Wow. What about you, Miguel?
I'm sorry, they don't have the team.
I won't go 10, but I would say 9.
Yeah, see, I say 7. I said 7. There's gonna there's a ball tip here, a fumble from Miles Sanders there. That's where these games are gonna go. That's where Saturday's game is gonna go. A tip ball, a little fumble. That's gonna predict and dictate the game. Don't you think?
So, and just to clarify, because I know some people will be like, "Oh, well, you're just." I mean, I've been rooting for the Eagles I've voted for the Eagles every week. I remember people will be saying, "Oh, you're just a fan." If you ask me the same question about the Cowboys, I'm not saying 10. I'm probably going to give you 5.
Yeah.
If you say the same thing about the Commanders, I'm probably going to give you 8. And it's not that the Commanders are a better team. We just happen to have worse luck against them.
Right.
We naturally play down to the Commanders, even when they're garbage, and it makes no sense. But the Giants team right now, and if you ask me this next year, it'll be a different number. I like Saquon. I like Dable. I like Thibodeau. I think they're in a good direction. I honestly think that we are in for I think this NFC East took a down couple seasons, but we're about to go back to NFC Beast era.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate to say, I've said it 100 times. The Cowboys roster is a winning roster. That roster should be dominating people. They're just led by an incompetent quarterback and a coach that shouldn't be in the NFL.
And a crackhead owner.
Oh yeah, crackhead owners the problem. It's the trickle down economics, but in football leadership.
Right.
We have a crackhead owner with a failure of a coach with a backup quarterback at the helm. Like you're just failing on all 3 accounts.
And a guy who can't make field goals. Can you believe
the guy who suddenly can't make field goals?
Can you believe that? Nobody missed 4 field goals? Like, that's
Extra
insane.
points,
Extra points.
And
Extra
Like,
points.
chip shots,
Like,
man. Like,
Now,
I think after the third one, I'm like, that's it. We're not kicking any more field goals. That's
Yeah.
it. We're going.
I was
but
like,
it's
that's
like-
it. Where's the punter, my guy?
but it's almost like get him out there because, you'd rather have him do it against that game, rather than the 49ers. Because
crushing it.
if you miss points and give up points against the 49ers, that's going to hurt you. But he's lucky that it didn't hurt him.
The 49ers.
Yeah, it didn't hurt.
Nick Bosa might have a field day with that team.
Yeah. So I'm excited to watch these games. So we got 49ers and Cowboys. We've got Eagles, Giants. We've got Jags and Chiefs, and we have Bills and Bengals. Yes, Bills and Bengals. Who do you got? Who do you got for these games? Who do you got for Bills Bengals? Mark?
Bengals.
Bengals.
You say
Bengals.
Look what happened last week. The Dolphins with a quarterback from the CFL, in my opinion, nearly beat them at home. Okay, Josh Allen, in my entire look. No disrespect to the man. The man has great character, great integrity, and has worked his ass off to be where he is. And during the season, he's one of the top 5 quarterbacks, no question. But he didn't have offers in college, like going to college, because he struggled in the big game. He gets to Wyoming. He struggled in the big game. He's gotten to the NFL, and he struggles in the big game. It doesn't matter if it's a big game in the season. That tends to be a little bit more lenient. But when it gets to where it counts, it's not there. And he gets antsy. If he has a pick or a fumble early in an important game, he doesn't have a great game. And he still had yardage. He still had throws. But it nearly cost him. The only reason he won that was he was playing a CFL quarterback. if that's Tua, if that's healthy Tua, that's not a game. That's a blowout.
Yeah.
There's no question in my mind. Bills have nothing. Joe Burrow, most sacked quarterback in the league right now, is still at least slinging it and has a competent receiver. Jalen Waddle, real quick. What were you doing, my guy? You dropped like 5 passes. You're like, I've argued with people how you're one of the best receivers in the NFL. What was that performance? You're almost as bad to blame as the quarterback.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't see the same mistakes being made by the Bengals, even if I think the Bengals, I think if you had the Bengals-Miami matchup 10 times, Miami might take 6. I honestly believe it with a healthy team. But I think the Bengals are going to come into this game without the shortcomings that Miami did, and I don't think Buffalo has an answer for it.
Yeah.
So it's got to be the Bengals.
What about you, Miguel?
I feel like I want to be like Mark and choose the Bengals, but I feel like the Bills are still riding on that on their friends that they had a heart attack.
Damar Hamlin.
Damar Hamlin. I still feel like they're running on that energy, and
Yeah.
that helped them get out of that lucky Miami game. So I feel, and Josh Allen has a lot to prove, and I think if he loses this game, he's going to lose a lot of credit in the eyes of a lot of critics out there. But I feel like they may pull it out. So
Bill,
I don't
okay.
know. That game is just going to be one of those games. Like, I don't know what the over under is or the line right now.
No.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's a pick 'em. But yeah, gun to head.
You want to say Bills? You want to say Bills?
I go Bengals because they're home.
Bengals because they're home. Yeah, I'm going to say Bengals too.
Are they
Bengals
home?
are home? No, Bills are home.
Bills are home.
Bills
Bills have the better record.
I thought the
Bills
Chiefs were the ones.
Won their division. They should have the higher seed.
Yeah, but the Bengals were 12-4, same as Bengals had 12 wins.
Dumb?
What?
Yeah,
Hold
that's
on.
what.
It's at Bills.
It's at Bills.
It is. Okay, yes, it should be at the Bills.
My bad.
The Bengals pulled off 12
Buffalo.
wins after starting like 0-4.
Yeah, they had 12 wins.
Huh?
Yeah, it's crazy. I thought I double checked that too. I couldn't believe that, but yeah.
You know what it was?
What?
5 touchdowns in a single game. Get owned.
I'm gonna if you look at the Bengals and Ravens game, that game was close for a while, and it was just DK Dobbins.
Lamar
wins that game, hands down.
Lamar wins that game.
DK
Which is,
Dobbins
again,
said it.
My point that Buffalo and the Bengals are overrated.
Yeah, so I don't think the Bills. I don't think the Bills lose this game. I think the Bills are going to beat the Bengals. I just don't think the Bengals are going to be able to stay in the point range of to win that game. So I go Bills.
Man, you
for
get
that
3 or
game.
4 extra possessions thanks to Josh Allen.
Yeah, wait, we'll see. And so now Jags and Chiefs. Let's go to our honorary Jags fan. Where do you see your Jags coming out on top here? What do you think? Might as well put them out, go out there, right?
I'm sorry. This is where the Cinderella story ends for Dougie P and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Our old buddy Andy Reid is gonna put a waxing on that.
Yeah.
On that Dougie P, on that Jacksonville ass, because they got a lot to prove too. But yeah, I don't think they have what it takes to beat a loaded Kansas City team like they're playing right now. They're playing on all cylinders. Andy Reid's got that on the
lockdown.
Clock, so yeah.
Chiefs all day.
I think Andy pulls it out. Yeah.
I would say, Mark, what do you think? Chiefs all day long?
I mean,
where are you now a Jags fan?
Last time that Kansas City lost to the Jags,
never.
I was in high school.
You were in high school? What year was that?
That was 2007.
Jeez.
Oh wait, no, hold on. They won in 2009. I was still in high school.
It's 2009.
That's the last time that the Jaguars beat the Chiefs.
Wow. I don't even care about what. I can't believe that you were still in high school in 2009.
Yeah. Mark
Yeah,
Mark
buddy.
was starting life as I was ruining mine in marriage.
And then I did the same damn thing. I said, "Hey, Miguel, I think you have the right idea. Let me do it too."
Yes.
But
Man.
yeah, I have to agree with our resident Jags fan. You know, it's I mean, they shouldn't. I'll be honest. I'm sorry, and this isn't even a thing out of being a semi fan of the Chargers. I don't care who it was. You had no business winning that game.
No.
That's not a.
Yeah.
The refs were terrible, which they have been overall, and the coaching, bro, that's as bad as Atlanta's coaching or the Colts could. How do you lose a 27-point lead, especially with a quarterback who's doing nothing but giving you the ball?
Yeah. And they only
Like,
scored 3
you're
points in the
garbage.
second half. They only scored 3 points in the second half.
And I understand.
blows
Well,
my
first
mind.
of all, I also want to step out there. Another thing, I had a little call out earlier against Waddle. I'm going to call out now on Eckler. You are not Barry Sanders. For as
Wow.
good as you are, get past the line of scrimmage before you try to make some juke moves.
Yeah.
You lost yardage on every one of them when there's open space in front of you. And you go, oh, well, you're hindsight. No, I was saying it live. I've been a running back. Not as good as you. No question about that. But I could see it. And when they go back on the footage and they see the open space, and yeah, there's a guy 5 yards that way. That's still a cross line of scrimmage. It's still positive yards, not a loss of 4.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? It's not just him either. It's most of the running backs this year in the league are like, oh, I played Madden growing up. Yeah, bro, call me. This isn't Madden. These players aren't going to, like, computer freeze.
Right.
They're going to hit you.
Yeah.
Make the play. Just run. North-south, my guys. How is it this hard? Why do I feel like I got to say this every week? Run the ball, and I feel like I got to go. I got to go to the, like, they finally hand the ball off. I go to the running back guy. North-south.
Yeah.
That way, not this way. Not. I don't want to see one of those Amazon analytics. Oh, they ran 95 yards to game 2.
Right.
Nah, guy, go upfield for 5. Like,
Yeah.
come on, hit them with power and drag them.
I agree. I don't know why they're they like you said they're watching Madden too much.
Way too much Madden. Like, let's just drive the ball. Like,
He's trying to get his juke moves higher up in Madden. That's what if Madden sees him doing that, he gets better juke
but you know
moves.
what? It just came down 5 points because you messed up big time. I mean, Herbert
Overall,
did everything he
down.
could to win that game
Right.
with players that don't belong to be like. I'm sorry, Keenan Allen. Again, respect. You are a phenomenal receiver. You're towards the end, my guy.
Yeah.
You have an aging offense for a high-powered young, even a star quarterback. You've got a couple star offensive linemen. Eckler's reaching the age point for a running back. I barely know your tight end names, and your receivers are all on IR, or are they on hospice? I don't even know at this point.
Yeah, you can almost say they probably should have not drafted Herbert and started rebuilding after they lost River Phoenix. Phillip Rivers.
I'm okay with them having Herbert, but you got to make the other decisions. You got to have the other players there for him. You got to start giving him support.
It's not there.
I mean, that kid literally is breaking Pat Mahomes' records. He is breaking NFL records for 3 straight seasons. He already has his jersey in the NFL Hall of Fame. The kid is not even 25 years old.
Guy's put in the Hall of Fame already. It smells like an
Yeah,
Oregon
they put
duck
his
to
jersey
me.
in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, they
He
did.
had 4,000 yards for 3 straight seasons. The first quarterback in history to do it from a rookie.
Wow,
So he is immortalized in the Hall of Fame.
that's cool.
But people are saying he's overrated because he's not winning anything. Bro, who's he throwing to?
Yeah, he
This man
didn't help
has
me with.
4,000 passing yards or more for 3 seasons. To what, a rock? To a duck? Like, who's catching the ball?
DeAndre Carter.
Who drops open passes? Man has a touchdown in his hands and goes, I don't want it.
I don't know if
I
that's.
don't touch football. I play soccer. I can't use my hands.
And that Justin Herbert love moment of the day was brought to you by Mark.
I mean, you
You
know
can
what,
have-
though? You want to go on? I'll go on a rant about Tua, too. I
Uh-oh.
think I hated on Tua. You guys know how I feel about SEC quarterbacks.
Yeah.
I think McDaniels is doing a good thing with him. Clearly, the
When he's
medical
not ripping
staff hasn't.
the
that
sideline.
medical staff has ruined that man's career.
Right. Medical staff is like.
But finally, you take one of these young coaches who does the right thing, gets him the weapons, gets the team built, gets a scheme for him, and the medical staff hits him in the side of the head with a hammer and says, "Good luck, kid." Like, come on.
Yeah.
This guy, like, I said, I don't like.
It must
SEC
be a
quarterbacks.
Russian doctor.
he's Definitely the bottom of the class. Definitely the bottom of the class.
Oh, you're a doctor? Yeah.
You got hit on this side of the head? Okay, we hit this side of the head. He okay. Go back.
Okay. You good. You good.
They go back, they check his medical records, like, oh, he's a doctor, of British literature.
Yeah.
Well, you guys just asked for a doctor. You didn't say how to be good at it, like.
So we got Chiefs definitely are going to win that game. Sorry, Jags. Yeah. Sorry, Dougie P. And then we got 49ers and Cowboys. Do we need to say who think we're going to win this game? Do we need to say it? We all know, right? 49ers, right? Easily. So here we go.
Hopefully.
So now we're at.
I mean,
what?
If you can kick a field goal, you win the game.
Yeah, you can.
Can you hit the extra point? Cool, you win because the other team can't.
So now we're at our game, the Eagles Giants, Saturday night. We're playing full health. Like we have 21 of the 22 starters. We're going to miss Avonte Maddox. You got DJ back. You got Jalen Hurts. It's getting late here, Mark. We got
Lane's coming back.
Lane's back. We've got a healthy Jalen Hurts. I'm going to say a healthy Jalen Hurts. If he's not on the injured list, he's a healthy Jalen Hurts, and he's ready. So we're playing the Giants. The Giants are coming off this Vikings win, which could be they could have a down game. I want to hear. First, lastly, I want to hear what the scores are, but I want to see what are your 3 keys to the Eagles winning against the Giants Saturday night. Let's go with you, Miguel. 3 keys.
I'm going to please Mark here. I'm going to say they have to run the ball.
That's one.
Run the ball. Establish the run game. Number 2, the defense has got to show up. That defensive line has to get after Daniel Jones. Do not let him get comfortable. Don't let him do what he did to Minnesota and Vanilla Vickers, the whole first half. They cannot allow that to happen. The secondary has to be on point with their receivers. Don't let them get behind you. And if they do, make sure somebody's over top to help. And then the third point is coaching. Coaching has to be on point. We have to make adjustments as they go because these Giants they're gonna surprise us with some stuff. We're gonna get hit with stuff. That Daniel Jones handoff with the Statue of Liberty play where he handed off the ball behind the back.
Right.
Like,
wow.
Great play, cute, but we can't get beat on shit like that.
That was Pat Mahomes. That is NFL Network, ESPN all day, all week long.
Oh, it's spank back material for the NFL if Pat Mahomes does that. It's just.
Or Josh Allen. Let's give it.
We'll never hear the end of it. Or if Brock Purdy did it, everybody be like, "Oh, Brock."
Brock Purdy did it.
Oh, Brock.
Retire. Everyone ended. He's just going to give him the trophy.
Yeah. So I like your keys. Those are legit keys right there. What's your score for this game?
Oh man, it's kind of hard to pick a score because it's like you got the first game where we blew them out. I figure it was like 48 to 3. I don't remember.
Big blowout. Blowout.
The practice game, we didn't really show enough. I feel like the last game we should show the vanilla offense. We didn't do much. We didn't show them much, but we still walked away with a victory. Thank God. So I'm going to say it's going to be like a 31-20 victory.
Wow.
11-point win.
I like it. I'm with it. Mark, your 3 keys. I know one of them's got to be running the ball. What are the other 2?
All right.
All 3.
Run the ball. And stop the run.
Yeah, so run the ball. For key 1, we got to run the ball. And I mean run the ball, not with Jalen. I mean with our boys. We got to let
the battle, the Penn State running backs.
No. Giant killer.
I say, but we have a giant killer. Okay. Scott does Scott things against the Giants. Okay. See, the Giants are like the guy who sings a song and Scotty doesn't know. And Boston Scott is Scott once he learns. Okay,
Right.
He's got to whoop some ass. Okay, that's what Boston Scott does against the Giants. Let's let him run the goddamn ball. For my second key, let Boston Scott run the goddamn ball. Key 3, let Boston Scott run the goddamn ball. No,
Boston Scott played special teams.
Yes.
Run the ball. Okay, run the ball. Okay, use that run for the quick play actions, the slants, those nice plays. Don't rely on the deep ball. You got to set those up. Okay, you gotta run the ball, set those up, let it work. Okay, you gotta work that team. The Giants have been getting pretty good at pass rushing. Run, pull them off their markers, then you go ahead over top. Okay,
Right.
we gotta change that up. I honestly am a little different point of view than Miguel here when it comes to our defense. Don't get me wrong, I want us to get after him. I want us to contain Saquon. I think Saquon's the biggest threat. I understand that we have let Daniel Jones hurt us in the past, but I think it was a different time. He had other receivers. We had lesser corners. I don't want Daniel Jones to stand back there all day and make these plays, but I don't want Saquon dropping 20 and 30-yard rushes on us.
Right.
I think we got Hassan Reddick, okay, to come over the sideline and say, hey, Hassan, your job today is to eat Daniel Jones. That's your job. Eat Daniel Jones. By the end of the day, I want chunks of his flesh in your mouth. Everyone else, focus on your players. Hassan Reddick's job is Daniel Jones. Everyone else focus on who's in front of you.
Yeah.
You know, we got a few players like, hey, maybe Kaiser, maybe Edwards. Focus on Saquon. Keep him there. You know, we got to win this game. We got to focus. And I think Slay and Bradbury, a little bit of CJ, GJ, kind of cover the back end. Hassan Reddick's got to eat, and we win this game. So run the ball, contain Saquon, and you know what, Miguel? I like the coaching idea, but run the ball is my third thing. And that's it. That's it.
The reason I'm not worried about Saquon is because I feel like we've done enough this season to prove that we're able to shut down running games. The only time we get burned is when we oppose a team that has a scrambling quarterback as well as a good runner,
or when Jordan Davis isn't playing.
Right.
That as well.
It's important.
That as well. And
Maybe,
also,
maybe let N'Kobe Dean play.
Bradbury also owes the Giants one, so I think Bradbury's going to come out and play on fire. I know him and Slay came out in an interview today, and like they were hyping each other up. Yeah. So they're fired up for this game coming up.
What's your score prediction, Mark?
So I don't know if you guys have noticed all season, I started a trend after noticing that I was getting away from myself. I started going 21-17 like every game.
Right.
Okay. Because if I predicted us to do well, it was a tight game. And I wanted to predict 21-17. We crushed them. And Miguel would predict big on those days, and we crushed them. But this is postseason.
Different animal. Different animal.
Giants.
Yeah.
21-17 is not.
That's too close.
28-10.
28-10.
I want to see us put a hurt on them. I don't want them to score 10, but I feel like someone sneaks a touchdown out.
Garbage time.
Garbage time
touchdown. I don't know if
touchdown.
it's garbage time. It might be early, honestly. I could see it being first quarter. Could end 10-7 for a quarter, and then we blow the fuck out of the water.
Well, my keys. One of them is to run the ball. Definitely run the ball. It's always one of my keys. Another key is to contain Barkley. Contain Barkley and Daniel Jones. We don't need Daniel Jones to set any more rushing records. We don't need to have, we just need to, because I don't think Daniel Jones can pass his way out of a game. If you leave him back there, he's not going to be able to pass his way out of the game. And so, if you contain him in the pocket and you make him pass, go ahead. Bradbury and Slay and CJ are out there and ready and willing to gobble up any throws he throws out there. And my second, I guess my third would be, clock management. Keep your keep your offense on the field as long as possible, and put up as many points as you can. And if that means some turnovers, that's great. I'll take turnovers. And I'd rather have a game where our defense doesn't have to win the game and it doesn't have to be out there that long. Because you know what? We need fresh legs for the 49ers.
Yeah.
My score is going to be 45-17. 45-17. They're going
Someone
to...
watches a little too much Madden.
Yeah.
Someone's watching a little too much Madden.
I've been watching a lot of Madden, actually. Follow us on our YouTube channel. You can see all of our simulations. Yeah, 45-17.
Wow.
Yeah, because Jalen is going to come out. His shoulder is going to be feeling good. And, AJ and Devontae had 95 catches this year in only 16 games. He didn't have one catch that first game of the year. That's a lot of That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
So,
could add 100.
Yeah, he could have had 100. Imagine that. 100 catches out of two guys. So, yeah, the Giants are not going to be able to cover Devontae. They're not going to be able to cover AJ. And don't forget Dallas Goedert's back there. And guess what? Miles Sanders is coming out of the backfield. There's not enough guys to cover. So, yeah, 45-17.
First off, I would like to say that what Mike meant was that he wants the Eagles team to be as well structured with their time as we are with our podcast filming. We're always so great on time.
Yes.
Am I mistaken in saying that I think that Dallas Goedert is a top 5 tight end and probably the most underrated in the league?
Definitely underrated. But he is a top 5
Definitely.
tight end.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think he's definitely top 5.
Like, I feel like when I look at the news and they're talking about, not the news, but like the league information, like I hear about Kelsey deserving.
Rightfully so.
I hear about Kittle
Mm-hmm.
not having his best year.
Not the best year.
I hear about Dalton Schultz, which I'm like,
he's on America's team. That's why you hear about him.
Pretty good, but like,
if he's on the Chargers, you don't hear about him. But he's on America's team. That's why you hear Dalton
the
Schultz.
Chargers have a tight end?
Exactly.
The Chargers have a team? Like, I mean, but I feel like I don't really ever hear anyone talking about, Dallas Goedert.
I think he's gotten overshadowed by what AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts have accomplished this year, and the fact that he was out of games because of that shoulder injury. He's kind of been out of the picture for a while, so people kind of slept on him. I feel like last year he was getting a lot of credit, and then up to the point where before he got hurt, he was getting credit and recognition, and it's just everything that the Eagles been doing. He's been like just right under that shadow, so it's like he's having a great season without anybody really noticing that he's having a great season.
I just want to point out that this man played 5 less games than just about every other leading tight end. And with the exception of the man, the myth, the legend, Kelsey himself, was it less than 100 yards to almost all. Let me see, where is he here? He ended with 702. So only 3 players ended the season with more than 100-yard receiving than him as a tight end.
Yeah.
And they all played a lot more games.
Yeah.
I mean, what he was averaging on 12 games, he puts himself, my math could be wrong, but it's not, he'd be right behind Kelsey. And Kelsey's the leading receiver for the team that he plays for. So, like, he's not even, like, he would, our third, maybe our fourth? And was he our third or fourth in receptions this year?
He was probably third. Because
No.
Quez Watkins and Pascal. There. Yeah, he didn't have, he had more than those
but,
guys.
like,
I also wanted to point it out that I picked 45-17 because the last real true Eagles blowout was against the Giants, because after that they had the Bears, which they didn't play well. Then they had the Cowboys, not the Cowboys. What was it? I can't think. But for 6 weeks they haven't really had a great game. They have the Saints game wasn't great. The Bears game wasn't great. Cowboys game wasn't great because there's no Jalen. And the last the last Giants game was not really a great game. So they really haven't had a lot of good games as of late. And so it's the time that they had to show that they can put together a game that they have all their healthy players and they can really blow out a team and move on to the next to the conference championship. So that's where I'm at with that.
And then blow that team out too.
Yes.
That's the goal. I want to see blowouts the rest of the year. I
Yeah.
want people to cry because they're like, "You guys had an easy season." Yeah, well, we still blew your ass out.
Yes.
That's what I want.
Any
By
last?
the way,
Yes. Go ahead.
yes. So I'm looking at it. So Travis Kelce had exactly double the receptions and not double the yardage.
Wow.
Saying that.
That's pretty impressive.
Just saying that, about 100 yards less than double.
I can't let this podcast end without bringing up Mr. Jalen Rager and how he blew that game for the Vikings. This guy is one offseason away from not being in the league anymore.
Man, he's still in the league in the first place. Imagine that a team drafted him first round. How stupid was it to draft that man?
I wonder who did that.
Guy should have been drafted in the 4th.
How stupid was it? How stupid was it that somebody traded for him?
Well, there's dumb and there's
there's even more dumb. That's pretty
there's
dumb.
Some real dummies in the world. How that man got a job in the NFL blows my mind.
Did you see that somebody asked Jeffrey Lurie, who do you if Howie Roseman isn't selected as executive of the year, who should be? And I think Jeffrey Lurie said God. God should be if it's not Howie Roseman.
Yeah.
I mean, our picks are looking mighty nice right now.
Yeah. I just did a mock draft, and it's going to come out in a couple of days.
Joey Porter Jr.?
In the mock draft did not give us Joey Porter Jr. Do you want to know, or you want to wait? Or you want to? I'll tell you. I'll tell you off the podcast. It was actually pretty cool. It was pretty cool. If you want to follow the mock draft, follow us on Instagram at Squawking Eagles Podcast.
You guys already know. For as much as we're excited for this game, and then we're excited for the rest of the playoffs, the back of my mind's already like, ooh, combine and draft talk.
You ready for? I'm ready for that podcast. I'm ready for those podcasts with you, Mark. Educate Miguel and I about all that stuff.
Exactly.
So I think that'll do it for us. I'm excited for this game. I think Mark and Miguel, they are as well excited as we are. We're all excited.
Fired up. Bring them on.
Fired up.
Let's go.
Enjoy the game. We'll see you during the post-pod where we are reacting to this amazing Eagles win. And then
live post-pod?
Live post-pod? Maybe.
Like, are we going to record it?
I don't think I'll be sober enough to.
It's going to be like 11:30 at night, but we'll keep it. We'll keep it in the.
Recording. I'll do a recording.
Hey, if it's a win, if it's a win,
I've already got breakfast planned for Sunday morning.
Nice.
All right.
Yeah, we got this.
All right, that'll do it for me. Mike, that's my Mike. That's Mark. Miguel. Fly, Eagles, fly.
Fly, fly. EAGLES.
Eagles.
Let's go, birds.
Let's go.
Fly, Eagles, fly, on the road to victory. Fly, Eagles, fly, score a touchdown, 1, 2.